How we doing? We're talking DSCR Loans, almost always doing. Rob, what's up? Ray, how's it going? By the way, if you're just joining us, you haven't been part of these lives yet, or you're not sure what DSCR loan is a debt service coverage ratio loan. This is for real estate investors getting approved based on property income, not personal income. So what does that mean? No tax returns, no pay stubs, no W-2s, no VOEs, because your ability to repay the loan is not based on your personal income. Your ability to repay the loan on a DSCR loan is based on the fair market rent on the property. Does the property pay for itself? If so, good to go. Roger that, let's go. Are there scenarios where we can get you approved even if you're showing a negative cash flow situation? Yes. If you're an experienced investor with good credit, depending on the loan to value ratio, there are scenarios where you can actually get approved even if you're in a negative cash flow situation. It just depends on the situation. What's the logic behind that? Why would anybody get into a deal where they're in a negative cash flow situation? Well, here's an example. If on paper your long-term rental shows that you're in a negative cash flow situation, but you as an experienced investor that you're going to be doing midterm rentals for like traveling nurses or whatever, midterm rentals demand higher rents. You're going to get more rents when you're doing a midterm rental. So even though on paper, as a long-term rental, the deal doesn't work and it's a negative cash flow situation, you as an experienced investor know that it still makes sense for you and you're gonna go ahead and move forward with the deal. So obviously everybody's situation is different, but it definitely helps if you're experienced with good credit. Chris, what's the normal ratio rent to debt you see? So we wanna see that you're at least breaking even. Usually we wanna see that you're at least breaking even. Bare minimum, we wanna show that you're breaking even. But again, Chris, even if there's scenarios where you're not breaking even, that doesn't mean the deal's necessarily dead. Gene, thanks for the likes, guys. Thanks for getting us to 6K. Appreciate you. If you want to tap the gift button or the rose button or whatever, it does help with rankings, helps more people come in. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Another beautiful day talking DSCR with you guys. And by the way, we're accomplishing real life goals in the real world as a result of these lives. And it's a fucking privilege. And I appreciate you guys. And if you want to support me, go to the link in my bio, click subscribe on YouTube as well. Follow here. It does help things keep moving. Madame, is it possible that the rentals can buy the house from the owner? I've been here 8 years. You can buy, if you've been renting a house for 8 years and you want to buy that from your landlord, you want to buy the house, ask them, hey, you willing to sell this property? I'm pretty comfortable here. I like it. Are you willing to sell me this property? Yeah. For sure. And by the way, if you need a pre-approval, if you want to give them a pre-approval and say, hey, landlord, I want to buy this house from you. I've been pre-approved. My credit's good to go. I have the assets for the down payment. Go to the link in my bio, schedule a call. Let's get a pre-approval going for you. Love to work with you. User 851, can a startup LLC get a DSCR? So if it's a LLC, real estate related LLC, is there seasoning required with the LLC? No. You can be a new LLC with a DSCR. That's fine. You don't have to be seasoned. Alex, how we doing? Good to see you. Thanks for the share. Appreciate you. Courtney, what's up? Courtney asks, what do you know about selling a house on terms? So Courtney's asking, selling a house with seller financing terms or land contract or contract for deed. Great question. Glad you asked. I've done a ton of land contract refinance deals where somebody bought the house with seller financing terms or land contract terms or contract for deed terms. So people have different verbiage depending on where you're at in the country. They call it different things. But basically, we're talking about seller financing, right? What questions do you have? Happy to chop it up with you about that for sure. What's up? One of the biggest videos on my YouTube channel, actually, Courtney, is about how to buying a house and refinancing a house that is on land contract terms or seller financing terms, because that's a big one. I've done a ton of them. I've done a ton of land contract refinance deals. I would tell you the biggest thing if you're selling or you're buying a house on land contract, the biggest thing, you're trying to sell my home, but someone wants to buy it on terms. I live in PA, I need to sell this one to buy my next. So here's the deal. Do you have a mortgage on that one, Courtney? Or do you own it free and clear? And by the way, why sell it on terms? Is it because the buyer doesn't qualify? So you do have a mortgage on it. Roger that. You have a mortgage on it. Why does the buyer want to do it on terms? Is it because they don't qualify for a traditional loan? That's usually the reason, right? Is that why? I'm assuming is it because they have low credit? Is it because their income situation's weird? These are the questions we need to understand, because you, as a land contract holder, want to make sure that they're going to pay you. So you want to do your research and fucking get their credit report, get their pay stubs, get their assets, get everything you can on them to make sure that they have the ability to do your research and fucking get their credit report, get their pay stubs, get their assets, get everything you can on them to make sure that they have the ability to pay you. You're going to be your own little underwriter to make sure that they're good to go. You know what I'm saying? So you want to do that research. You want to be as picky as you possibly can be to make sure they're going to pay you. So Courtney, I would say most important thing that you can do if you're considering this is buyer does not want to do a traditional loan as of now because they buy multiple to make rentals. Well, let's do this. Shoot me a DM. Let's have this conversation a little bit more. My advice is to get as much information as you possibly can on these people. Verify that they own a bunch of rentals. If they own a bunch of rentals, they'll have no problem sending you a rent roll. Oh, cool. You own a bunch of rental properties? Send me your rent roll. They'll know what that is, and they'll send it to you. If it's legit, they'll have all of their shit together. They'll be able to give you all their financials. It'll all be on an Excel spreadsheet on all their properties that they own. If that's true. And you as a seller have an absolute right to ask for that. Like you, of course you have the right to dig as much as you want. And you should absolutely pull a credit report on them. Get a credit report. Oh, what's your birth date, social, name, address? I need to pull a credit report. Because if their biggest objection is that they don't want a traditional loan because they buy multiple properties to turn into rentals, you tell them that you guy on TikTok who does DSCR loans that you can buy a bunch of properties without proof of personal income because the income is approved based on property income, not personal income. So they don't need a traditional loan. They need a DSCR loan, and you guy who does them now. That's what's up. Crazy Melissa, what's up? I want to own another home. Can I do DSCR loan? Yeah. So you want to own another property for DSCR loan. It's for investment properties only. Yep. So if you want to do that, minimum down payment 20%, minimum credit score 620, minimum loan amount 100K. So Crazy Melissa, the question is, how's your credit and how much you have to work with in assets for the down payment and closing costs and reserves? Because it's not just down payment. It's down payment, closing costs, escrows, and reserves. So these are the things that you need to budget for when you're talking about getting a DSCR loan. For sure, Courtney, look forward to it. Thank you. Carl's World, the worse the credit, the more you have to put down. That's correct. That's absolutely right. The lower the credit, the higher the down payment. That's right. Nailed it. Buddy. Jose, what's up? How are you? All right, so Crazy Melissa, I own 3 already, 1 personal, 1 Airbnb, 1 buildable lot, 825 score, and plenty of cash put down. Good to go. You're an experienced investor with your shit together all day long. DSCR loans is the single greatest solution on earth because you're not having to deal with tax returns, pay stubs, W-2s, none of that. The income piece of the approval is based on the subject property rent. So if you have 12 months experience owning an Airbnb, we're good to go. Are you trying to buy another short-term rental, or you want to do long-term rental type of deal, or what's the deal? 2 years experience managing an Airbnb. DSCR loan's beautiful. It's built for people like you. It's built for business owners. It's built for investors with multiple properties. Yeah. Do you want to get into a long-term rental on the next one? Roger that. Good to go. Love to work with you. Here's the process. The process is go to link in my bio, schedule a call. We'll have an initial conversation, get on the same page in terms of your goals and expectations, and then we'll get you a link to the application. You fill out the app, I'll pull credit, get you set up on our portal so you can upload bank statements and mortgage statement, whatever we need. And then that way I can get you a pre-approval so that when you find that next property that you want to make an offer on, you're good to go, ready to pull the trigger, ready to make an offer because you got that pre-approval in hand. So that's how it works. Love to work with you for sure. Enrique, by reserves, do you mean 3 to 6 months of mortgage payments? Yes, great question. What are reserves? Reserves are how much you have left over in the bank or in liquid assets like 401k or retirement or whatever, how much you have left over after covering down payment, closing costs, and escrows. Typically, we want to see like 3 to 6 months of reserves. Crazy Melissa, you have a property now? Let's go. If you want to make an offer, let's get this thing going. We'll get you a pre-approval. Give me 24 hours after we get everything in. I can get you a pre-approval. CEO US. How about rural areas? Yeah, for rural areas, it's different. Most companies will tell you they can't do anything in rural areas. I'll tell you I can do rural up to 65% loan to value ratio. So rural is a little bit different. A lot of lenders don't touch rural properties, but I can do rural up to 65% loan to value ratio. So 35% down, I know it's a lot, but there's a risk in doing rural. The risk is properties don't sell as quick if you were to default on it. So they want to show that you have a bunch of skin in the game, so they make sure you're not going to default on it. Can you do pre-approvals for DSCR? Yes. CEO US, we do pre-approvals for DSCR. The process is go to the link in my bio, schedule a call. Let's have an initial conversation. We'll talk about it. We'll get you in. We'll send you the link to the app. We'll get you set up on our secure portal so you can upload supporting docs like proof of assets for down payment and stuff like that. and that way you can get on your way, make your offer, and go from there. COUS, who is the investor? Yeah, we have a bunch of different investors that we sell these loans to. Depending on your situation, we're going to put you in the right product and that has the right fit for your specific situation. So we have a bunch of different investors that we sell these loans to. Crazy Melissa, I have made an offer. We're in a rural area as well. Roger that. It's going to be 35% down. Yeah, I know. Most lenders are going to tell you they can't do DSCR on a rural property. We can on 35% down. But here's the deal, Crazy Melissa, you may be calling it rural. If it's in town, if you're in a small town, but the property's actually in town, the appraiser might not mark it as rural. We're just gonna go off the appraiser's guidance. The appraiser is gonna mark it either rural, suburban, or urban. A lot of times, you'd be surprised, some of these small towns, if the property's in town, they might mark it as suburban. And you might be good, but I can't tell you what they're gonna do. The appraiser makes that decision, and it has a major impact on the whole deal. Sully, can you use a HELOC to buy a house using DSCR? Yes, you can use a HELOC to cover your down payment, closing costs, escrows, and reserves. Yes, a HELOC is considered you're pulling cash from a secured asset, and you're using that to buy another secured asset. Yes, you can do that. Yes. It qualifies for USDA, but don't have to use the USDA. Roger that. Just because it qualifies for USDA doesn't necessarily mean that the appraiser is going to mark it as rural. They might. I can't make that determination. But the best thing you can do is, if you want to connect, go to the link in my bio, schedule a call. Love to work with you. Just go to my bio, tap the link, tap the schedule a call button. That's how it works. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks, Saul. I appreciate you. If you guys want to help support me and help support this show, please tap the share button or the rose button or gift button. It does help rankings. It helps more people come in, helps build this community of investors and borrowers that we work with to help accomplish their goals. By the way, I'm not selling a course. There is no course. My goal is to help you accomplish your goals. That's it. I'm a loan officer looking to help you accomplish your goals. I've been doing loans all over the country since 2008. I bought, sold, rented out properties all over the country since 2005. This is all I do. But if you want to help support this thing that we're doing, give it a share, give it a gift, whatever. It does help. And go to the link in my bio. Subscribe on YouTube as well. We're doing recaps of the lives on YouTube. You can check them out, see what's going on. We have a bunch of content there as well. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. What else we got, man? We've covered a lot today. This has been one of the best lives that we've had probably in a couple weeks. And I appreciate all you guys interacting and engaging and been some great questions today. So let me know what else you guys got and we'll keep her going. We're here anyways. We might as well. You know what I'm saying? Harper and Mommy, thank you. Appreciate you. Crazy Melissa, can you do your loan purchasing a family member's home? Yes. If you're purchasing a family member's home, that would be considered non-arm's length transaction. Yes, it can be done. However, there's a list of guidelines that go along with that. Crazy Melissa, if you want to DM me your email address, I'll send you the guidelines on a family sale. Yes, it is possible. There's some guidelines that go along with it. One of the biggest requirements on it is we're going to have to verify that your family member is not delinquent and it's not like a bailout situation. But Crazy Melissa, if you want to shoot me a DM with your email address, I'll send you all the guidelines that relate to doing a family sale on a DSCR loan. Enrique, for a BRRRR, is it hard to get 80 LTV? For a BRRRR, so Enrique, you're referring to buying a property and renovating it, right? So if you're buying a property and renovating it, you're going to need a hard money loan first, not a DSCR loan. So a hard money loan is you getting into a property that needs a major rehab, doing the rehab, getting someone in there, then to rent it out, then refinancing it into a DSCR loan. So 80 LTV on a hard money loan is doable. 80 LTV, 80% of the purchase price, a hard money loan is doable for sure. Mr. Get It Done, how's it going? I say for sure, but obviously it depends on your credit score, it depends on your experience. There's some areas where you need to have 3 flips under your belt in order to do a hard money loan. So it just depends. It just depends on your situation. Naomi's back. How we doing? We're still here, chopping it up, firing away. So you're trying to assume a family member's loan? So if you're trying to assume a family member's loan, then you have to get with that lender servicer and find out what their requirements are. Not all loans are assumable. If you're trying to assume that loan, you have to get with their specific servicer on that loan and find out what their guidelines are to be able to assume it. Not all loans are assumable. Enrique, so on the refi step, you would cash someone up to 80%. No, On the refi step of a BRRRR, you would cash out up to 75% loan to value. Crazy Melissa. So whether it's a family member or not, if you're trying to assume somebody's loan, you have to get with their servicer and find out what their guidelines are to be able to assume the loan. And they might tell you, sorry, this loan's not assumable. But if it is assumable, then they'll give you their guidelines and requirements on what you need to meet in order to assume that loan. So they gave you their requirements, then you would work with them directly on assuming that loan. That's how it would work. You wouldn't get a new loan, you know what I'm saying? You would work with them directly and get that loan. Does that make sense? They would be your lender. You would be assuming a loan that they already have, so you would work with that lender directly on assuming it. You know what I'm saying? Got it. They said no, it can't be done unless you're buying for another family member, and when we filled out the paperwork, we didn't put that in there. So there you go. You have your answer, right? Gene, thank you so much. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Got me to 7K likes, guys. Pretty cool. It's a privilege hanging out with you guys. So it was a hard no, but could we still do a DSCR loan on it? You could do a DSCR loan on it, assuming you meet the guidelines for a non-arm's length deal. So Crazy Melissa, if you DM me your email address, I'll send you the guidelines for a non-arm's length. Just shoot me a DM and remind me what I'm doing, because after I get off these lives, I always have a bunch of DMs. So just remind me what we're doing and I'll get you the guidelines. Cool, thank you. User 843, if buying under market in private sale, will lender use appraisal or sale price for LTV calculation? It'll be based on the purchase price with the seller. So example, you're buying a property from the seller for 150K, but it actually appraises for 200K. Can we use that instant equity of 50K in it to cover down payment or whatever? Nope. So you're gonna do 20% down to the 150K. Still, even if it appraises for higher. Nope, couldn't. Basically asking if you can get more leverage since day one would have more equity. No, can't use that instant equity to help sweeten the deal. No. Good question, valid question. It's not the first time it's been asked, but super common question, but no, you can't do that. Yep, no problem, thank you. Thanks for asking. Hard Money Drew, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. We haven't had any crazy, off the wall, crazy. It's been all good questions tonight. All good engagement tonight. And by the way, if you want to help support me, you don't have to go to my Patreon. There is no Patreon. You don't have to buy my course. I'm not selling a course. If you want to help me out, double tap the screen. Get to 8,000 likes. Subscribe on YouTube. That helps support me. There is a link in my bio for my YouTube if you want to subscribe there. That helps me out. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're getting something out of this tonight. And if you haven't, tell me why. What haven't you got? What haven't I answered that you need to know? Tell me. And let's chop it up. Let's go over it right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. All right. Talking about seller holding a note again. That's okay. I'll answer. If the seller would hold a note with a balloon, could you do that plus refi to take advantage of equity? No. Seller cannot hold a note. Seller cannot hold a note. No seller seconds. No seller notes. No, nothing like that. You got to come out of your pocket for down payment. You got to have skin in the game to get her done. You're not doing a seller second to cover the 20% down. Period. No seller seconds. Now, if what you're asking is, can you buy it from the seller and do seller financing and then refinance out of it later? Yes. So if you're doing seller financing and you want to refinance out of it in 12 months and pay the seller off in full, yes. 100% all day long, yes. So you're doing seller financing with the note and you're going to have it recorded, good to go. Or you could do what's called a land contract or contract for deed, where even if it's not recorded and it's been executed for 12 months, you can then refinance out of it after 12 months. But if you're doing that, you want to make sure you keep good records of all the payments and everything, because you're going to have to connect the dots when it's time to get underwritten. So that's a great idea. It's a great way to get into a property with little money down, because you could maybe potentially do seller financing, buy a property with 5% down with the seller, and then improve the property value, refinance in 12 months, and use that new fair market value of the property. It's a great way to get into a property, Yachty, for sure. If you want to learn more about how to buy a house on land contract and everything that's involved, there's a video that I did years ago. It's probably been 7 years since I did it. One of the biggest videos that I did. Everything that you need to know about buying a house on land contract. It's on my YouTube channel. There is a link in my bio for my YouTube channel, Mortgage by Adam. Make sure you follow me here on TikTok and on YouTube, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Other than that, guys, we'll probably call it a night. If you haven't followed me yet, please follow me. It does help support the channel. We'll keep these shows going. We'll keep the lives going. Go back, think about what questions you meant to ask, what you want to ask, and we'll go over it. My goal is to help you accomplish your goals. My oxygen is getting borrowers approved for a loan when other lenders say that it's not possible. That's what we do, guys. So thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great night. We'll see you next time. Semper Fidelis.